Hey there, everybody. This is BJ Best, and I've heard some people talking about the game and how exciting it is and how much fun they're having. Um, I wish I could say that I'm having, the best time of my life playing this game, but I really can't because even though I'm on top of, so many people and I'm so much better than them, I really, I really can't say that I'm having that much fun. Back in if you were playing this game back in 2014, like me, you might you might understand that things have changed. And take for example the Borg, um, running around blasting Borg things. It's very exciting. I understand that, but when my ships are so powerful that I can just defeat them so easily, it's not as fun. Um, and my friend Scarporin, he blows these things up like they're nothing. I mean, he has a level 50 ship, so what are you gonna do about that anyway? Um, just basically, uh, I'd like to talk about the direction of this game. It's Star Trek, so and it's something that I've always been interested in is Star Trek and how the spaceships are, so cool and so exciting. Um, they really make me get excited. It's kind of like watching an old episode of Gunsmoke, and I know I'm going way back here, but um, where Haas comes in and he's like, um, "Hey, there's some horses that have gotten out, except the horses are actually in the pen, so they didn't actually get out. Um, they were in there the whole time. He just didn't know because he was an idiot." Um, anyway, the more I think about this game, people are like, uh, Scopely's doing such a good job, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I don't think so. And it's what are you gonna do when, uh, you know, when people want to play this game and they can't play the game, so they'll basically walk around in their spaceship, going from deck to deck, and that's cool and everything, but you'll fly your ships, and I mean, I have a bunch of ships, and they're like the best ships ever, except for Scarporian's ships. His are better than mine, obviously, but you know, that's nobody has to really talk about that. Um, but yeah, so you have your guys, your officers on your bridge, and they're just there, and sometimes they're flying around and in their ships, and it gets kind of boring. And I would know about boring, trust me. Um, it's just a subject that I'm very passionate about, obviously. You can tell by my expressions and how excited I am about all this. I really feel a deep passion for this game. I feel that the developers have created a game that make you spend money to do things, and then once you've done those things, then you actually have to grind, or you have to spend more money, and then once you spend that money, then you can either grind some more or you can spend some more money, and then once you've hit that level, you can hit you can do things that you couldn't do before, and you have ships that are bigger, but then you have to either grind or you have to spend some more money to get to the next level. And then once you hit that level and you're pretty high up, like a few of us are that are actually really active. Anybody who's not part of my like crew, that they're kind of losers. And we talk about this on our Discord, and I hear people chattering about what they don't like about the game, and I listen, and I think, well, what you don't like about the game is different than what I don't like about the game. And what I don't like about the game is more important than what you don't like about the game, you know? Because I'm more important than you are. Because I've spent more money. And I don't want to say I've spent more money. I like to say I'm more heavily invested in this game. So that's something that I like to say. It makes me seem like less of a douchebag, but not really. But I think it does. um, but then sometimes I'll be playing the game and I'll be leveling up, and then there'll be an event. And I'm really high on the events, you know, I always win a lot of the events. Like, take the data extraction event. Um, I have 4 botany bays. So I made a video about how to succeed at the data extraction event. And basically it's have 4 botany bays and use those all at the same time, and you will win. It's not rocket science. If you have 3 botany bays and you play the exact same amount of time that I do, you won't beat me because I have 4 botany bays. If you have 2 botany bays, you won't beat the guy who couldn't beat me because you have 2 botany bays and he has 3 botany bays. And he can't beat me because I have 4 botany bays. And then there's people who have 1 botany bay, and I would say that's the majority of the server has 1 botany bay. And I feel bad for them because there's never going to be a day where they're going to beat me at a data extraction event. But they can think that they might have a chance. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That's irrelevant. What I'm really trying to say is, once you hit the next level that you've been working at, no matter what level it is, it could be 38 or 42, you know. I don't really consider anything under 30 to be an actual active player. They haven't invested as much as I have in this game, so I kind of discount their opinions and their concerns. It's not my problem. But if you can get to a level and then you progress and then you can get to the next level. But once you get to the next level, then you have to either grind or you have to spend money to get better and get to the next level. And then in the meantime, they'll have these events that they'll have, and they're not good. I mean, these guys, to be so heavily invested in this game and to have spent so much money on this game, I find it totally ironic and hypocritical of me to say this, but you guys are killing the game. I mean, you know, somehow you've tricked me, a highly intelligent, educated individual, into investing all of this time and money into this game. And it makes me look bad, to be honest. I'm not as cool as I used to be because of it. But anyway, once you hit that next level and you want to progress to the next level, you'll either have to grind or you'll have to spend money. And then you can go to the next level. And sorry, sometimes you'll have new ships, you know, like so I've got all the cool ships. I mean, and that's what it's about, being at the top. I have the good ships. I have a super strong base. My defenses are awesome. But really, it's boring. You know, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Once you hit that point, they should be catering to the whales, of one of which I am. They should be, when we say something, when we're so highly invested in this game, they should listen, because our opinions matter more than the lower level players. You know, there's only like, I don't know how many people are in the 2 alliances that I'm closely associated with, but whatever that number is, maybe 200, that maybe less, that are actually playing the game, and the rest of the server's dead. There's a bunch of brainless monsters crawling around, or there'll be people who pop in once a week, and that's not a real player. I don't care if that causes a problem with people or makes them feel bad or offended. I don't care. Those are not real players. Unless you're spending money or being invested in this game like I am, you're not a real player. Not in my opinion. But you didn't hear me say that. It's not being recorded, so it doesn't matter. For example, people were talking about rules of engagement. Rules of engagement like don't hit minors unless they're on a 0 node, or they are overprotected. You can see they have resources on their minor. That sounds pretty simple, except unless you're on our kill on sight list, in which case we just kill everybody. And we can declare war at any time to get around that as well. And there's many examples of us doing that. But anyway, people became frustrated, and on our Discord, the official Scarporian Server 17 EMG squared Discord, we talked about it, and there were a few of us that were highly invested in the game, and we were talking. The guys were talking, and then there was all this chitter chatter from down below, like in the cheap seats, talking about row this and rules of engagement that, and row this. And then somebody mentioned, let's take a vote, or whatever. And I just told the truth. I said, guys, this is a lot of day laborers worrying about where we park our private jets. I mean, it has no concern. You should not be concerned about this. It has nothing to do with your, puny gameplay. It's the guys who are really invested that are basically have the right to vote on things like this. And it reminded me of something from history, but I couldn't remember. It's like, you don't have the right to vote because you're not as good as I am. And so they had some vote, and it was like the whole server voted. It was like eight or nine alliances. The admirals voted, and they decided, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do this row thing. Some people got upset, but they're savages. They shouldn't be able to play the game the way they want to play, because their gameplay affects my gameplay, and I'm more invested than they are. Let's be honest. And so for them to do that and to think that they can affect my gameplay when I'm so invested in this game, or they think they're good enough to actually interact with me, I'm gonna tell them that that's not cool. That's not gonna happen. So again, it all goes back to this business model that Scopely set up, that where you can level up by grinding or spending money to get to the next level. And once you get to that next level, then you can either grind it out to get your resources, or you can spend money. Being as invested as I am, I've done a combination of both, but it's pretty obvious who cares about the future of the game and who doesn't. And the game's going in a direction, it's like a fireball or a meteorite that has entered the atmosphere, and it's crashing. And I'm afraid it's going to affect the people who are heavily invested in the game, because they're the ones who actually care. The other people, free-to-play players, while they have usernames and they actually can, pick a tag for their alliance, they really don't add anything to the game. I mean, it's sad. I don't even know why they play. But, we have to put up with them because, whatever. I mean, it's really sad the direction the game is going, while they cater to these, these minions, while they should be talking to the kings. Server mergers came up recently, and I really can't think of a good thing about server mergers. Why are you going to bring in um, players who have invested a lot of time and energy in a different server? Maybe they're a level 50, maybe they're level 40. Why are you going to bring them in and disrupt what we have going on? It's not fair, and it upsets me because I'm so heavily invested in this game. Sorry, it's just such an upsetting thing. But I mean, really, they've really screwed this game up, and I really wish they would get back to the way they had it in 2014, back when I started, and a lot of the guys who are significant and valuable assets to the server started. Please don't do this server merger stuff. You're going to disrupt my activities. You're going to upset me, and I invest in this game heavily. And I'd hate to sacrifice that and maybe go on and play like Farmville or something like that, or, Candy Crush, because I will. Although I'll probably fall into a trap with those games to where you have to, if you want to get to the next level, you'll have to either have skill and do what you have to do to get to the next level, or I'll spend money, I'll heavily invest in that game, and then I'll get to the next level, at which point I'll probably level up by using my skill, or just really trying really hard, being very repetitious, or spending some money. And I mean, that's just the truth. And they'll trick me too, and I'll get upset, and then I'll make some long-winded video about how the game is no good, and how, people of lower levels, zombies in effect, are no good. And the only people who are really good are the people who have put money into the game. And I get it. You need us to continue. You need us to make money. And we'll keep spending if the game is good. But if the game doesn't cater to us, we'll just leave. And I mean, before this, Scarporn used to play a Star Wars game. And, he was awesome at that game, but he left. Why? Because they started catering to the lower levels. It's just the truth. It's just the way it is. But where was I? Sorry. It's just I have a lot to cover, and very upset and emotional about this because I'm so heavily invested in it. I would say one of the good things about the game is the leveling up. And once you reach another level, say you're at level 40 and you want to get to 41, the best thing to do, I hope this has some value to you guys, but the best thing you can do is you can either grind to get those resources, or you can spend some money. I've done a combination of both. So, and you can see, I mean, once you get up to the top, and me and my friends, we're the creme de la creme of this server. So we pretty much run it, and if anybody challenges us, we just, we crush them, and we move along. So basically, what you want to do in this game too, and I'll just break it down. I'll break it down for you right here. You want to level up as many times as you can. And Scarporn, he can't level up anymore. I mean, he's one-shotting Borg cubes. I mean, come on. He's the man. Level 50 ships. And but you want to level up as much as you can. And the best way to do that, I've found, is to either grind it out or just spend money, and then you get to the next level, and you just continue this cycle. You continue this cycle over and over and over, and it gets boring after a while because you have no real competition, and you have PvP events where you can just sit there in a system, and your ship never dies, but you just kill the ships that come in. And it's really awesome, and it takes a lot of skill to do this. You sit there. These are trade secrets. I really shouldn't be telling you this, but I will, because I hope it'll help you. You just sit there in the system during these PvP events, and as these smaller less relevant ships come in, you just kill them over and over and over again, and you win the event very quickly. And you score 3 points every time you win. They score 1 for losing. So I'm still giving them something. It's like I'm giving them a gift by beating them, which makes sense to me. One of the things that I've done to win, and again, this is added value for you. I mean, you can stop the video if you want, but I wouldn't. This is really good stuff. It's coming from a master of Star Trek. You want to level up as much as you can. And I can't emphasize this enough. You want to either grind it out and get those resources, or you want to spend some money. It's easy. It's not a hard concept. It's not rocket surgery. You know, it's just something that I like to do. Again, if you're stuck on a level, a lot of people will get to a certain level, and once they get to 31, they can start to matter. Once they get to a level that actually matters, you really want to grind it out, or you can spend money to get to the next level, because that's how you progress in the game. And it's sometimes really hard being up here and watching these, I guess you can still call them players, but they're not as heavily invested as I am. You can call them players. They're trying, and they're violating our rules of engagement. And I tell you that I'm telling you right now, if our miners were stronger, we wouldn't need rules of engagement. I mean, if somebody couldn't kill our miners, we wouldn't care. We would just destroy everyone and leave our miners to mine. But right now, there are people who are becoming civilized as they progress, and they still have ships that are strong enough to kill our miners. And they go on these savage rampages. It doesn't really affect me as much because I'm up in deep space, and so nobody's really hitting me, unless I come down and I slum it for a little while and for the data events. In which case I get that done pretty quick with 4 botany bays. So I would recommend that. If you can level up as many times as you can, get 4 botany bays, get 4 Franklins if you can. And then, get a bunch of enterprises, and, get, the Vidar, get 4 of those. Just make things easier on yourself, and you can run armadas by yourself. You don't need a team, but when you've got a team as cool as I do, then you can do some stuff. They say this game is for everybody, but and it's not, though. It's made by people who are not as cool as me, for me to invest my resources so that they can have jobs, so that the economy can grow, so that the world can be saved. So basically, I'm like the savior of the server. I'm like the savior of the world. I mean, it's hard. It's hard having this much responsibility. But before I go, I'll just close with this. What you really want to do to get anywhere in this game, and this is before the game goes away, because once they start doing the moves that they're doing, the game is on its last legs. So to level up, you want to invest heavily in packs, or you can grind it out. And that's about all I can say. I hope this has helped you. I hope everybody out there is cool, and I hope the world gets back to normal, where classes like me can look down on people in person instead of like having to do it through the internet and stuff. It's very difficult to sneer at the lower classes, and like this. It's really sad. But anyway, I'll talk to you later.